Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Friday morning, and what a beautiful day. Although here in Indianapolis, we're going to get some bad weather tonight. Thank you for my friend Michael Clark at BAM Weather for alerting us to what was going to come tonight. I mean, we're going to have like horrific lightning and torrential downpours and 75-mile-an-hour gusts. See, Michael, I was listening to you, and potentially some flash flooding, but we don't have that this morning. And it's gorgeous. So I am excited to be on here to chat with you guys. I want to talk a little bit this morning about patience because, man, that is so hard to have. It's hard to have in the moment. It's great theoretically. It's great to just say I'm a patient person, but man, when life squeezes you, have you noticed that? That's when all the ugliness comes out, or at least for me. I don't know, maybe I'm alone. But for me, it's when life is kind of giving me the screws, as they say, and stuff comes out because I'm not patient in those times. So I'm learning, and there's a gift in that. I want to talk about this verse today in Proverbs 14:29. It says, "Whoever is patient has great understanding," like you know how the world works. Whoever's patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. Man, I can tell you several times that I've done that. I've been quick-tempered and I have displayed some folly. And so one of the things that comes to mind, and I've shared this on YouTube before, but one of the things that comes to mind is just back after my previous divorce and sort of going back and forth, and tempers are flaring, and we're going to court, and we're trying to decide custody and all of that stuff. And I would get a text message and it would light me up. And I would get out my phone and I'm like, and then sometimes Megan would look at that and she'd be like, "Don't send that." And I would not send it, right? Even though I wanted to. But then there were other times when she said, "Don't send that." And I'm like, send, right? And I was glad, and I showed her, and I told her what was on my mind. And man, now that I look at this verse, one who is quick-tempered displays folly, because you want to know that those texts that I sent that I was told by Megan to not send, they're the ones that got printed out on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and brought to court. And it made me look like a fool. So yeah, my temper, my lack of patience, my temper betrayed my foolishness. Because in that moment, I was acting like a fool. And I tell you what, a side note, if you read Proverbs, read it and assume that you're the fool, right? Maybe not about everything in there, but you'll get more out of that book if you assume that you're the one he's talking about that doesn't get it right. Because I'm telling you, I've said it before, I heard it said by an author that our ability to perceive our own wrong in our life, our sin and our character defects, is as accurate as a carnival mirror. I just love that. So what about you? Do you struggle with this? Like in that moment with the kids, when they're acting up and you just lose your mind and you come undone because you lack the patience, and then poof, stuff just comes out? Or with your spouse, isn't that so easy to do? Like they say something and man, before I've even thought about it, I got vitriol coming out of my mouth because I wasn't, in James 1:19, I wasn't quick to listen. Oh, no. Slow to speak. Are you kidding me? And thus slow to anger. And so I want you guys to work on that this weekend. I want you to try to just pause. Just give yourself a 3 or 4 second pause before you say that next thing, that knee-jerk response that you want to come out of your mouth. I mean, have you ever noticed that? Have you ever been around people who are just seasoned at life? They're usually older. They're in their 60s, 70s maybe. And you ask them a question, and there's a pause. There's a pause. They contemplate before they answer. Man, not me, especially not when I was younger. You asked me, I had to answer, right? And now I look back and I'm like, I think that lack of patience displayed my folly. So I'm curious. I want to see your comments. Does this relate to you at all? Or are you just always measured in what you say? I love the next verse after verse 29. It says, a heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. And so I have to think that those two concepts, the patient person having great understanding, and then the heart at peace giving life to the body, or the quick-tempered person displaying their folly and envy rotting the bones, I have to think they're related, right? They're right there, verse to verse, next to one another. And so, I think about, you come to the end of your day, and how soft is your pillow at night? Is it comfortable? Are you able to go to sleep? Or kind of torn up inside because you're like, man, that person kind of set me off and I said some stuff. And I mean, what I said was true, but I still wish I hadn't said it because it wasn't nice. And now I'm sort of dealing with just the angst over that. So I just want to tell you guys, you can do this. You can learn this stuff. It takes small incremental steps in improvement. Like, you're not just going to tackle the big thing, the big elephant in the room, and suddenly you just have wonderful patience. Like, you're going to start with the little things. If you have kids, start with your kids. That's a great place to start, right? Instead of just being that authoritarian that just rapidly corrects and gets after them and tells them what's up, like, just pause and be like, okay, how can I explain this in such a way that this child understands the reason that I'm giving this verdict, the reason that I'm telling him or her to not go do this, or the reason I'm getting after him for what he said or how he behaved. I tell you, kids are a great tool to learn. You've heard it said, be careful to pray for patience. Well, that's because it's hard, and that's because people don't have patience. It's not naturally a part of who we are, but it can be. And I can tell you, over the last 4 years, since Megan and I have seen our marriage repaired, and we've been on this spiritual journey with this just awesome trajectory, I can tell you that I've seen myself able to implement this more in the moment. Not all the time, I still screw it up, but more and more, I pause before I speak. I definitely pause before I send that text message and like double check and making sure, okay, is this what I want to say? Am I coming across kind, but am I coming across with the information that I need to convey, but in such a way that I'm not doing harm to that relationship? So I just want to read this one more time. Whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. So I hope you can use this. Do me a favor, click the share button on YouTube, subscribe, send this to your friends. Come over to dbonnie.com, sign up for our newsletter so that I can send you emails, and I can just keep showing you what I've learned about marriage and life through, graduate work on a counseling degree. I'm still 3 credits shy. I always tell people that, but I don't want you to think I have my master's in pastoral counseling, but I'm close. And just life and like learning and reading and just trying to figure out, how do we communicate better? Where are most of the breakdowns in marriage? If you want to go deeper with me, shoot me an email, d@dbonnie.com, and we can talk about this new membership group that I'm getting ready to do, where I'm going to go live each month and just teach foundational principles in marriage to help you every month move the needle to where you want it to be. Because there's a marriage out there waiting for you that's amazing. And if you don't have that right now, I want to help you. And I believe it's possible. I think that there's work to do, but I think that all of these things are learnable skills. So people are not as far in misalignment in their relationship as what they think they are. So I just want to encourage you guys to do the work that it takes to make your marriage awesome. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you Monday.